I told you guys on February 20th, 2026, everything was going to shift. Do what you want with this information. I'm going to speak my truth. But remember, I'm just a dude on the internet connecting the logical circuit. I'm going to be open and transparent with you on exactly what I'm doing. But I told you guys on February 20th, 2026, you're going to feel the shift. And I'm going to stay in my zone of genius, which is financial. There's a great conjunction happening on February 20th, 2026, and I cannot make this stuff up. I've been telling you guys from the beginning of January, and then boom, this announcement was made. If you haven't heard the announcement, Donald Trump Jr., who is one of the creators and co-founders of World Liberty Financial, a DeFi bank that was co-founded by Donald Trump and his boys, Steve Witkoff and his boys. It is this is really important, listen to me, a decentralized finance system where the token holders have the governance, opposite of the traditional financial system. Now, here's the key factor. After February 20th, 2026, those who know, understand, there's a great conjunction. It's where the old reality starts to get dissolved and truth starts to get exposed. So in the financial system, brokers, investors, financial institutions that are part of the system that is unethical or immoral, or anybody doing anything unethical or immoral in the financial space is going to start to get exposed. It may be quick, it may be slow, but you will start to see a fragmentation and no more blind leadership. And I can't make this up. Donald Trump Jr. comes out and announces that World Liberty Financial is having a private meeting, invite only, on February 18th, 2020 at Mar-a-Lago. Does this sound familiar? With the top financiers and decision makers in the financial space in the world, or in America, he said. Do you remember in 1913, a group of bankers came together on a private island to discuss the future of a monetary system that has lasted 100 years. They brought us from decentralization into the centralized system, and since then, your dollars collapsed 96 to 97%. Your labor was traded for income, which was debt, and then we got taught to monetize debt, the American enslavement system, debt. And is it by chance that on February 18th, right before the Great Conjunction, February 20th, 2026, that Donald Trump Jr. is bringing the greatest people in finance and the decision makers to a private place in Mar-a-Lago to discuss, this is his words, go watch this, to discuss the future of the financial system and who will be building it. Remember, I'm just a dude on the internet that's using logic to connect the dots. But here's the dots that I've connected, and here's what I'm doing. I created a system called Capital DR. It's a system. It's not an investment. You don't need the next best crypto or investment. You need a system because it's a cycle, guys. This is a cycle that happens over and over and over again, and you're always the victim of it. 1% always remain the 1%. Remember, you trade your income for debt, then you go buy debt. Trading future labor that you haven't even done yet because you extended the debt out on things you can't afford. What we do is we take our income, which is debt, we go C, we create cash flow. That could be through creating businesses, cash generating dividends, which is one of the greatest ways to create cash flow. Let other companies do the work. We take our income, we take our first fruits, and we create cash flow. Then we don't get debt. We stay lean and mean on the debt side, on the personal side. We move our money, our income, which is debt, into assets that beat inflation. So that's offense. We sit tight, we stay patient. The offense goes up, we pull profits. And then we move it into P, protection, defense. This is my Capital DR system. Things like insurance, you could use gold, silver, copper. I like Berkshire. So there's defense, that's stability. Offense goes up and down. You need to pull to get into defense, which is stable. Then we leverage on the back end only after income becomes cash flow becomes assets, and that asset is protected. Then we leverage, we get debt to buy more income and cash flow, not to take away future labor from ourselves, is we allow money to free up time. We only use debt to buy more more cash flow and more assets. And then DR is de-risk. You have to de-risk during the economic cycles. Does the 1% always remain the 1%? So my top investments are not financial advice, just being open and transparent. On the offense side is XRP by a long shot personally and for my treasury. Bitcoin is number 2. WLFI, World Liberty Financial, is my number 3. And Solana is my number 4. Coming in a close 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, the XLM, HBAR, and VeChain. I'm going to be consolidating into my top 4. I'll still hold XLM, HBAR, a few of those. But all the other 20 cryptos I have. I'm consolidating out of all those. When I get to above water, I'm going into XRP, Bitcoin, WFI, and Solana. The get rich era price predictions, hopium, it's dead. That's dead. After February 20th, it's dead, guys. You're going to see a bunch of people fade away because they can't fudge you anymore. They can't hype you anymore. If you ever see during this era coming up and it gets bullish again and people opening up their own new tokens, run as fast as you can. The same every time. Stick with the solid fundamental. Even if you don't get this huge, don't go chase prices, guys. Don't chase get rich quick. You're going to get wrecked. Please trust me on this. Okay, on my defense side, I use cash value life insurance. We use it as defense, protected principal. We use it as market-like returns. And then we use it as leverage family banks. On the right side, I'm lean and mean. I'm completely debt free. No credit cards, no personal loans on the personal side. My debt is on the protection side. We get debt to buy assets, and the assets pay off the debt. If you want a liability, buy it with OPM, an asset, other people's money. Okay. Then that's the protection component. Insurance. I have silver, copper. I'm starting to stack Berkshire. If you just look at the chart for Berkshire, you look at silver. Look at copper. Some people use gold. I use Bitcoin as my gold. That's in defense and insurance. Gives you stability, safety, and longevity. And then you ride out the cycle. When everybody's panicking and running, you're buying their panic. When everybody's trying to get rich quick, you're taking money off the table and protecting it. That's de-risking. That's how winning is done. But just buckle up, get your popcorn, but don't be the person that 10, 15 years from now, your grandkids go, what did you do during the greatest financial transformation in history? Did you just sit on your hands? Watch this transition? Did you just wait for another president? Did you wait for a savior to come out of the sky? Or did you do something about it? Or did you just sit in analyst paralysis? Guys, there's a free place you can go to. It's called the library. That's what I did in 2020 when I got pissed, when I was done them shutting my businesses down with the pandemic. And I studied and I realized that there's a pattern to this. There's a reason why JP Morgan said billionaires use astrology and millionaires use charts. I didn't say it. He said it. So if you're emotional about the markets, you're a victim of it. If you understand it's just a cycle, you build a system to beat it. That's how winning is done. Discipline is the path. And that's why it's not easy. And that's why most people won't do it. Warriors, rise! Get your shit together. God bless you.